Managing human resource systems. Human resource management is the process of finding, developing, and keeping the right people to form a qualified workforce. It is also one of the most difficult and important of all management tasks. The federal employment laws apply to the entire human resource management process and not just to selection decisions such as hiring or promotions. Any employers who use sex, age, race, or religion to make employment-related decisions when those factors are unrelated to an applicant's or employee's ability to perform a job may face charges of discrimination from employment lawsuits or the EEOC. Disparate treatment occurs when people, despite being qualified, are intentionally not giving the same hiring, promotion, or membership opportunities as other employees because of their race, color, age, sex, ethnic groups, or religious beliefs. On the other hand, adverse impact occurs when members of a particular race, sex, or ethnic group are unintentionally harmed or disadvantaged because they are hired or promoted at a lot lower rates than others. The human resource management process has 3 steps: attracting qualified employees, developing qualified employees, and keeping qualified employees. Human resources use recruiting as a way to develop a pool of qualified job applicants. Internal recruiting is recruiting people who already work with the company. On the other hand, external recruiting is recruiting people from outside of the company. Internal recruiting is also called the promotion from within. Selection process is used to determine which applicants have the best chance of performing well on the job. Validation is the process of determining how well a selection test predicts future job performances. Selection procedures include applications and resumes, references and background checks, selection tests, or interviews. Performance appraisal is the process of assessing how well employees are doing their jobs. Most employees and managers intensely dislike the performance appraisal process. Performance appraisals are used for 4 broad purposes: making administrative decisions, providing feedback for employee development, evaluating human resource programs, and documentation purposes. One of the ways companies try to improve performance appraisal measures is to use as many objective performance measures as possible. Objective performance measures are measures of performance that are easily and directly counted or quantified. Common objective performance measures include output, scrap, waste, sales, customer complaints, and rejection rates. But when objective performance measures aren't available, subjective performance measures have to be used instead. Subjective performance measures require that someone judge or assess a worker's performance. The most common kind of subjective performance measure is the graphic rating scale. Graphic rating scales are most widely used because they are easy to construct, but they are very susceptible to rating errors. A popular alternative to graphic rating scales is the behavioral observation scale. Behavioral observation scales requires raters to rate the frequency with which workers perform specific behaviors representative of the job dimensions that are critical to successful job performance. Assume that you are a training director for a major oil company and that you are in charge of making sure all employees know how to respond effectively in case of an oil spill. This training objective and training methods chart will help you decide which training methods will be best to train your employees with. One way of keeping qualified employees is compensation. Compensation is both financial and non-financial reward employees get for working. There are 3 kinds of compensation decisions: Pay level decisions are decisions about whether to pay workers at a level that is below, above, or at current market wages. Companies use job evaluation to set their pay structures. Job evaluation determines the worth of each job by determining the market value of the knowledge, skills, and requirements needed to perform it. Pay variability decisions concern the extent to which employees' pay varies with individual and organizational performance. Employee separation is the voluntary or involuntary loss of an employee. Involuntary separation occurs when an employer terminates an employee. Voluntary separation occurs when employees quit or retire. Firing should not be first option. Employees should be first given a chance to change their wrongful doings. Wrongful discharge is a legal doctrine that required employers to have a job-related reason to terminate employees. Downsizing is the planned elimination of jobs in a company, whether it's because of cost-cutting, declining market share, previous over-aggressive hiring and growth, or outsourcing. Companies typically eliminate 1 million to 1.9 million jobs a year. 2/3 of the companies that downsize will downsize a second time within a year. Early retirement incentive programs offer financial benefits to employees to encourage them to retire early. Companies are now offering phased retirement in which employees transition to retirement by working reduced hours over a period of time before completing retiring. Employee turnover is the loss of employees who voluntarily choose to leave the company. Functional turnover is the loss of poor performing employees who choose to leave the organization. Dysfunctional turnover is the loss of high performers who choose to leave. This is a costly loss to the organization. Employee turnover should be carefully analyzed to determine whether good or poor performers are choosing to leave the organization. If the company is losing too many high performers, managers should determine the reasons and find ways to reduce the loss of valuable employees. The company may have to raise salary levels, offer enhanced benefits, or improve working conditions to retain skilled workers.